Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an extra special holiday treat. This is the grand final of an in-house Blizzard tournament. Now, many of you probably don't know this gnome fellow on the top left, but I'm sure almost everyone knows about dayvie, aka David Kim, well known for being a giant baller on the balanced design team for SC2. He is spawning as the random Terran in the bottom right against Mr. MC. We will refer to him as Matt in this game. He is a little bit of an unknown. For any of you who do not know, this is an in-house Blizzard tournament. These are leaked replays of the Grand of Grandest Finals. The winner of this series will be crowned the Grand Champion of the Blizzard North American offices. So a lot riding on the line. And of course, this entire series will be released a little bit at a time over the holidays. So that way by Christmas you can watch the entire best of 5 with your family, warm by the fireplace, exchanging gifts, celebrating your time off. In the meantime, we have dayvie, again, the random Terran, not just a good old regular Terran, but a random against the Zerg of Matt. Dr. MC scouting, and it looks like we will have a little bit of worker convergence arriving down in this bottom left corner. This map is Delta Quadrant, very annoying map to play as Zergon because of the fact that no matter what you do, you always feel really close to your opponent. A 13 pool, extremely early pool coming down by GnoME. dayvie building the barracks at the front of his ramp, could quite possibly be gearing up for a little 2 racks action. No, there's the refinery going down. GnoME does end up arriving at the front gates and will begin nibbling at that SCV. That is so annoying. Looks like SCV from dayvie now popping out. I'm going to just try to keep this drone distracted as he runs a little gauntlet around the main. Just do not want this drone delaying that barracks timing anymore. Refinery now finishing for dayvie. He will continue to mine as normal. Gas also finished for GnoME. Might be going for a very early roach play, or just could be wanting that very fast queen. Either way, a little bit unusual to get that spawning pool followed by that gas that early. Meanwhile, in Camp dayvie, we see the command center morphing into an orbital command. We see that first Marine in production heading towards the ramp. Another supply depot going down. Almost certainly a factory going to be planted down to complete the wall off, but really dayvie, does a little bit of selecting everything action to try to pick that drone off, but no, looks like that drone will end up completing on time and starting that extractor. Now that's a really annoying little technique to do as Zerg, because this means that the Terran will not be able to do anything like Banshees, any sort of huge cloaked Banshee play. A lot of mech openings are shut down. dayvie is going to end up throwing down that factory, but it looks like, Zerg canceled the extractor with the intention of rebuilding it to delay the gas even longer, but dayvie did manage to pick off the drone, as we do see that 1 kill on the Mariner. Meanwhile, it looks like GnoME is just continuing to vomit larvae, get the Zergling speed upgrade, but is also continuing to mine gas. Generally, you see people pull that out of gas, but looks like he's stockpiling, perhaps to go mass baneling. Whether that's good or bad, we don't care, because it is 100% guaranteed to kick ass. dayvie looks like he's responding to this gas steal by getting the fast reactor on the barracks. Gonna donate that reactor to the factory so we can get the Hellions out 2 at a time, and a very fast command center popping out for dayvie. He is gearing up for the long haul. Looks like, meanwhile, in Camp GnoME, another queen coming out right now. A lot of people like to think that the people at Blizzard do not know what they are doing in terms of balance, in terms of this sort of thing. You see many a forum thread get thrown out. But of course, as we can clearly see, all the Blizzard folks love this game as much as your average bear. And in addition, dayvie is actually regularly at the tip top of the online ladder, playing way up in the nosebleed stakes of SC2. So of course, have respect for your fellow designer. Looks like a lot of larvae getting stockpiled up there. There's the Roach Warren now en route. Second queen out and continuing to add the larva. Creep Tumor already planted to join these 2 bases together with Creep, so the queens can bounce between them easily. Starport going down now for dayvie, in addition to this double Hellion play. Very, very common to see Banshees plus Hellions. They're just an extremely potent little mixture, because the Banshees just pick off everything that the Hellions are running away from. Meanwhile, it looks like GnoME just keeping all the Zerglings in the center of the map, so that way if anything pops out, he can spot it and pick it off with that extra speed. Very slow queen moseying her way to plant Creep and Larva at the expo. There's a layer going up right now. Nothing being made with this Roach Warren except for these little 3 roaches right here en route. Very good to get those roaches out early before you go right back to the drone production. And he's going to need those roaches out fast, because those Hellions are definitely going to cause a lot of trouble to those speed Zerglings. Bunker going down now. That way you can get a company this command center that will no doubt be heading its way over. And wow, double starport. That's actually kind of unusual, but going to be very, very effective considering that this layer from the Zerg opponent is a teensy bit later than usual. It looks like that second gas geyser is getting thrown down by GnoME, continuing to add those larvae. Here comes the huge amount of Hellions advancing forward, and it's only, 5 roaches right now. Where are those Zerglings? Uh-oh, they're mounting a little bit of a counterattack, and at the same time, these Hellions are trying to poke around at the front, but GnoME does not have that many drones at the expansion, and it looks like dayvie will be able to spend nice little vacation here at the command center with not really any harm done. These Hellions are really desperate to try to break their way up into the front, but dayvie, no, is not going to be able to break his way in. Gets repelled, and GnoME just stockpiling larvae. Cannot really spend that money. Spire going down right now. Ooh, going to be doing a little bit of Mutalisk action. Going to be very effective against those Banshees. dayvie now getting a tech lab on this barracks. Could possibly be doing a little trade-a-roost. That way he can make double Marine and tanks. Expansion now in orbital command, and the SCVs have finished transferring. So everything is starting to calm down a little bit now that Zerg has his little stable set of roaches out. These 7 roaches are going to defend against most everything. We see in production Zerg making plenty of drones so he can have all the macro he needs to churn out those Mutalisks. But if dayvie can do enough damage with these Banshees, it won't really matter that the Mutalisks are out. It's going to be a very, very tough for GnoME to be able to produce without these 2 Vespene geysers out. And, ooh, an infestation pit. That is a choice I don't really like too much. He's not going to have enough gas once he's gotten that Spire out. He really can either go Mutalisk or go Infestors, but not both at this point in time. And it looks like, uh-oh, there's the Overseer getting morphed. GnoME knows that this is going to be a lot of trouble. 2 Banshees arriving right now. Target firing 1 Queen. It gets taken out. And dayvie now advancing forward with everything else he has on the ground. The Banshees have already picked off 1 Queen. Second one going to be able to take things out. Exactly 1 Mutalisk out. Muta will be having to defend everything, and oh no, Hellions in the main. GnoME, it does not look good for you. GnoME trying to do anything he can with these drones. The roaches were at the back trying to pick off the destructible rocks, but oh no. Oh, everything's getting barbecued so badly, and Banshee's picking off the remainder. There is the Mutalisk of the hour. That is the only thing standing in the way of total annihilation. The fact that this can actually hit everything and nothing can hit back. So looks like a couple of Queens now popping out. 8 kills on 1 Banshee, 7 kills on the other. Oh man, GnoME, in the unit counting station we see 11 drones. Ugh. Oh, it's going to be so yucky to come back from. Many drones also in the production. But we see that looks like he has doubled his Mutalisk count to 2. Going to be a little tough to make use of both of those. dayvie's going to make 1, 2, 3, 4 turrets. He's going to be beyond defended. A lot of barracks out right now. There is the stim upgrade going down. Looks like he will have plenty of stim for these Marines and Marauders. And it looks like this handful of small roaches is not really going to be able to measure up. Now, of course, no, we don't know where he works within the Blizzard infrastructure, but dayvie's entire job is just to kick ass at this game and make people able to kick ass in a balanced fashion at it. So we can clearly see that experience coming into play with the double Banshee, Hellion harassment. Very, very common among tip-top players. Double Raven, a little bit more unusual, but I will admit, when you are leading with 61 to 46 food against a Zerg who is down to 11 drones, it's kind of hard to mess up. And honestly, with this sort of Banshee harass, it's going to be very, very difficult for GnoME to be able to stay alive. And uh-oh, it looks like there's no anti-air. Oh no, he's going to be able to march in there and pick off drones one at a time. There's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Both the Mutalisks, the double Mutalisk play. Generally one around 16, but 2's fine. And Hellion's coming from the back again. Oh, roasting a good amount of drones before they get picked off. And it looks like dayvie's just target firing drones. He knows that this was not economically correct to do per se. However, he just wants to keep Zerg battered down and committing every one of his larvae into making drones. That will create a very, very, very hard window for Zerg to be able to stay alive. We can clearly see that dayvie is going into mass macro mode, just churning out a bunch of Marines, churning out a bunch of Hellions. He has the double Raven play out. Will he be getting anything fancy like Hunter Seeker Missile? Doesn't look like so. More factories finished now. Could even be getting some Infernal Pre-Igniter upgrades. But either way, Spine Crawler's coming out from GnoME. Smart play. He's replenishing so many drones. He's going to spend a few of those drones to help him stay alive a little bit. Doesn't look like he'll be able to put as much pressure back on dayvie, but you know what? That's okay, because he just needs to get that economy back intact. Few Hellions from dayvie now making their way across the map, just trying to scout for any expansions, just general good stuff. One changeling from GnoME hiding at the back of the base. Looks like these 4 mules are going to try to pop in and do any amount of damage, but of course that single turret will end up repelling it. A full little Marine Marauder army out right now, just going to be blocking any of these mules from doing anything. And really this combat shield is the key timing. When that finishes, dayvie's going to be on the move. The double starport under a little bit of pressure, but not really so much, as we see that these Ravens are going to be able to throw down some auto turrets to repair. Those auto turrets do stay for about 4 minutes, as we can see. That looks like 3 minutes, in fact. So this is going to be more than enough to just secure these locations for a little bit of time. Refinery now taking some serious damage, but if dayvie can move down, he'll be able to keep it alive. Oh, there's the Seeker Missile now getting researched. dayvie just... Oh, whoops! dayvie accidentally losing the refinery, just rebuilds it right away. In the meantime, it looks like GnoME has begun to rebuild some of that battered economy. Still doesn't really have 2 queens running in full force there. There's the scan. dayvie finishes the combat shield. He's even getting some Thors out, just to add insult to injury. Now we see those Ravens now advancing forward. No Seeker Missile finished yet, but this is pretty much going to be impossible for GnoME to deal with. He does have a 1 Infestor out. If he can maybe get a Fungal Growth, he could delay it, but we do see these Roaches now marching forward. Oh, dayvie, throwing down auto turrets, throwing down a bunch of stim, and that is going to be so hard for GnoME to defend. He has those Hero 2 Mutalisks now doubled up to 4, but the drones now are going to try to see if they can participate in the battle. But no, there is the good game. dayvie apparently isn't even leaving the game yet, just trying to do a few extra hits before he calls it quits. So let's go on to Game 2 to see if GnoME can even up the score.